to upload it. Okay, so problems from lesson 10-1. These are just some select questions that may have given you trouble. This was from page 619. So if you did not have any trouble on this, you do not have to watch this part of the video. I promise you will not be quizzed over it or anything like that. This is just in case you missed any of these problems. So I picked out number 9, and it looked like this. And I picked this one because this one is similar to a question that you had on a basic skills test. And some people had some trouble. We did one like this in your notes too. So these were all measured in inches. All right, so the formula for a parallelogram is base times height. There are 3 numbers here, so obviously one of them is extra. And so we just have to find the ones that are base and height. Well, since there's a right angle right there, that's the clue that this is base and this is height. This base matches this, so 4.7. So your base and height are 4.7 and 5.7. So 4.7 times 5.7. And since it's base times height, you just multiply those. 4.7 times 5.7, you get, oh, I was going to put approximate, but it's equal to 26.79. Okay, that's number 9. Number 11. Number 11 looks like this. That's an 8, that's a 10, that's a 14, and then you have this kind of funky extension out here. There's a right angle there, and that is H. Okay, this is one of those problems where they're asking us to find H. And if you look at all these numbers, you'll see we've got 2 different base height combinations. The 14 and the 8 go together. And the 10, if the 10 is a base, then this H is the height from that base. That right angle can be moved to right here. So 10 and H is another base height combination. So if you're using that shortcut that we talked about last class, or last video, I should say. Here's that shortcut. Then the base times height, 14 times 8, that base height combination would have to equal this base height combination. So 14 times 8 is one pair, and 10 times H is the other pair. And you get, let's see, 80 and 32, which is 122 equals 10H. Let me make sure I'm right. 80, 32. No, that's a 112, isn't it? Yeah, sorry guys, 112. Divide by 10, and you get 11.2. And then number 15. So these are just some problems I selected. 15 is a right triangle, and it's drawn like this. This is 7.5. This is 6. This is 4.5. These are yards. And the base and the height would be 6 and 4.5. So area is 1/2 times 4.5 times 6. Remember, the legs are the base and height of a right triangle. So you can just do 3 times 4.5. You get 13.5 yards squared. I forgot to put my units on the last 2. This would be inches squared. This would be units squared. Okay, number 16. Now remember, if I'm doing problems that did not give you trouble, you can just zoom on past that part. 2 feet, 3 feet. This is also 2 feet. This one I picked because sometimes people get confused. Is this the base of the triangle or is 4 the base of the triangle? But the base of the triangle is just this part right here. You may be wondering, why did they give me that part? I think it's probably just to see if you know what the base is. So it gives you an opportunity just to clarify. So 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 times 2 times 3. It's always nice when there's a half a 2 in there. So that's just 3. 3 feet squared. And then number 19. Number 19 looks like this. This is 8, this is 8, this is 14. And since this was the lesson before trapezoids, I think they meant for you to find the area of this part and the area of this part and add them together, because we had not done the lesson on trapezoids yet. So if you already knew the formula for trapezoid, you may have used that. But here's what they decided to do. They did base times height on this part, because that is a square. That would be 64. And then for this part, since this is 8, you can just slide that right on up. And so this part right here is 8, and that makes this a 6 to make that total of 14. And so now we can do the triangle. 1/2 base times height, 1/2. The base and the height are going to be 6 and 8. And that is 24. So that's this part. So the total area is 88. And this one was measured in centimeters. It's a 64 plus a 24. If you knew the area formula for trapezoid, you could have done that instead. Okay, I picked out 3 more. Number 21. Number 21 says the area of a triangle is 108 inches squared. And the base and the height are in the ratio 3:2. So I start by writing the formula because I see those words, area of a triangle, 1/2 base times height. And if we don't know the base and the height, but we know they're related in this ratio, I can call the base 3x and I can call the height 2x. So 1/2 times 3x times 2x. And I know what the area is because they told me it's 108. So this is what that looks like. And you get 108. This is half of 6x squared. This right here, 3x times 2x is 6x squared. Half of that is 3x squared. And then you divide by 3. And you get x squared is 36. And let me make sure I'm right there. 90 and 18, yep. And then you square root, and you get x is 6. Now, that is not the base, that is not the height, that is x. So remember, these are our base and height. So 3 times 6 is 18, and 2 times 6 is 12. So those are our base and height. And 2 more, number 35. 35 said to graph this line right here, y equals 3/4 x minus 2, and then graph y equals -2 and graph x equals 4, and find the area that's bounded by those lines. So -2, and then that's where this line starts, and then this is the slope, rise 3, run 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so right there. So there's that line. And y equals -2 would be this line. Remember, Hoy-Vux, it's horizontal. And then this line would be x equals 4, which is this one. Same reason, Hoy-Vux, that's vertical. So this is the area that they want. We just need base and height, because it's 1/2 base times height. The base would be this distance, 4 units. And the height would be this distance, 3 units. So 1/2 times base times height would be 6 units squared. And then the last problem I picked out is number 41. And the drawing looks like this. This one is a tough one, I think. So it's kind of a funky drawing like this. These are both 25 feet. This is 25 feet. And these are right angles. Okay, I had to think about this one for a couple minutes. So the problem was we didn't know how this 25 was divided. So we really don't know we can't use this, base and height because we don't know this. And we can't use this base and height because we don't know this. And we'd only be guessing if we divided this 25 up into parts. So the reason that they gave us that this distance right here is the same as this distance is because we can pick that triangle up and we can slide it down and join it to this one down here. So I'm going to take that triangle right there and I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to slide it and join it to this guy. Like that. And that 25 matches up with that 25. So now I'm really finding the area of this triangle. And if you'll notice, the base didn't change. When I picked this triangle up, that base moved to right here. So if that was 25, this is still 25. It just moved. So my base and height are 25. 1/2, area equals 1/2. Base times height, so it's 1/2 times 25 times 25. And 25 times 25 is 625. And then you divide that thing by 2, and you get 312.5 feet squared. And that is how to do number 41. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop there, mostly because I need a break, you guys need a break. But remember, you don't have to watch these, all the problems that I do, just only the ones that gave you trouble. And I think I'll do a little review of that last quiz on a different video just so I can upload it. All right, y'all have a great Friday, and I hope you're enjoying learning this way, especially since you can kind of learn at your own pace and you can kind of zoom through things you don't need. And remember, if it's better for you, pause the video, do the problem your own self, and then press play, and that might be better. So I hope y'all have a great day. Bye.